Returning to where we left the Weasleys, all the wolves continued to remain at the invisible barrier just outside of the Weasley burrow. I walked back from the balcony. As I did, I turned and saw Angelina. She seemed to swell with fierce curiosity. She looked enraged, her shoulders back and her fist clenched by her side. She then sternly said that we had to do something, that it had already been over 30 minutes. She was not going to allow this to go any further. The werewolves had chosen the wrong family. She started talking about the fact we could make the werewolves sleepy. I had heard of such things, but to be honest, it was a relatively newly discovered potion, and surely nothing that Arthur nor I knew to do. Such New Age magic. She talked about the fact if a werewolf drank a mixture of water, frog slime and star anise from the footprint of a werewolf's paw print, then it would become drowsy and fall asleep. Before I could even protest, George was insisting we just wait it out till morning or send a Patronus for help. But Angelina was adamant that it wasn't just about us, but that looking at these crazed werewolves it was clear how dangerous they could be. She was right. In truth, although we were scared but safe, we had a duty to protect our neighbours, the other villagers from Ottery St. Catchpole. I knew then I wanted to support her. She's a smart girl, a serious competitor and an unshakable force, both on and off the Quidditch pitch. The plan was on. I yelled out that I had the spice star anise in the kitchen, and Fred immediately flew down the stairs to retrieve it as I yelled out that it was behind the yellow pantry door. Percy grabbed one of the tadpoles that usually resided in Ron's fish tank. As he held his wand over the tadpole, there was a small blue spark from the end of his wand, and then, where the tadpole was a moment ago, sat a fat frog. Percy ran his wand over the frog's back, and once he lifted it away, a large trail of slime followed his wand tip. Angelina grabbed a small old chipped teacup from Ron's old desk and held it out to Percy to drop the frog slime into it. Arthur uttered, "Guti aquae," and large beads of water droplets started dropping down into the teacup. Lastly, once Fred returned from the kitchen, we had 2 large star anise that Bill then crushed into the teacup. Instantly, the smell of the mixture overcame the room. It smelled like a dead rat, pungent and heavy. "Something's missing," yelled Angelina. "I think from memory. A moonstone needs to come into contact with this potion," she said. Well, we had no moonstones in the house. But then, out of nowhere, Fred pulled out a small box from his pocket. When he opened the box, there was a beautiful engagement ring shining in it. The band of the engagement ring had 6 small moonstones embedded in it that led from the centre stone. "Don't ask," said Fred, throwing his left palm up to stop any pending questions from us all. He dropped the ring into the teacup, and instantly it bubbled into a most brilliant shade of purple. I then realised with dread what the next step was. Angelina looked up and said she could fly over the invisible protective barrier and drop the potion liquid into the werewolf's paw print. Of course we all protested. George yelled that he could do it instead, but she shouted us all down. Angelina was determined. It was going to be a tricky process, but I knew Angelina could do it. I ran out to the balcony and yelled, "Accio Arthur's broom!" The shed door underneath burst open and Arthur's old broomstick came whirring upwards into my outstretched hand. Angelina took the broomstick from me. She mounted the broomstick, and as she did, Angelina pulled the ring out of the potion with her finger and threw it to Fred, who caught it. Then she was off. Angelina soared forward off the balcony into the night sky. The werewolves all reared with newfound excitement. Potion-filled teacup in hand, she soared through the protective barrier high above the werewolves. I could see her lips and cheeks moving, muttering the counterspell to get through the protective barrier. She flew toward a large, unmistakable paw print imprinted in the damp earth. The paw print was a little bit away from where the wolves paced. It must have been imprinted as they ran up to the burrow. Bounding behind, the wolves followed Angelina with unbreaking glares. Floating high above the ground, Angelina then carefully sprinkled a few drops just above the werewolf's paw print. But it missed the paw print. We could all see the potion emitting a faint purple glow that faded into the ground quickly. She tried again, and this time she got it. The potion fell straight into the paw print and shimmered brightly. As if it was fresh meat, the 3 werewolves all fought for a chance to lap up the potion from the paw print. Scratching and clawing at a chance to reach the small puddle of potion in the paw print. I was not sure if they were thirsty from nocturnal wanderings, or whether this new age potion was imbued with a powerful enchantment. Whatever it was, the result was instant. The 3 werewolves that lapped up the potion from the paw print staggered, each in a different direction. I could not see their eyes now. They were too far away. The creatures grew heavy on their feet, and their movements slowed until each collapsed onto the ground. A deep slumber appeared to have overcome them all. But one werewolf lingered, not at all interested to drink. With one swift look at the other wolves and then a backward glance at us, the werewolf bounded away from the burrow straight towards the dark forest on the other side of the hill. Angelina watched from the height of her broomstick and us from the balcony as the last powerful bounds of the running werewolf were lit by the moonlight before it disappeared out of the clearing into the forest. The danger was over. After that, Arthur sent a Patronus to the Special Minister Task Force. They arrived swiftly whilst the werewolves remained under the potion's influence. Upon arrival, they confirmed they had captured one other wolf in the woods nearby. They took the werewolves away, not before congratulating Angelina on her magic after hearing all that had transpired. They were grateful of her efforts to reduce the danger to the nearby Muggle village. Angelina Weasley. What a trooper! I have always respected Angelina, but from that day on I admired not only her unshakable nature, but also her compassion and wisdom. Molly Weasley.